Well, hello to everybody here. It's Teresa Sanderson with another episode of Dare to Do Nursing Differently. And I'm super excited today because we're continuing our interview series of our Nurses Feed Their Young expert team. And I have a really special guest with me today. Her name is Michelle Carter. And Michelle is a long-term care director of nursing with a passion on her heart to serve and support other directors of nursing and long-term care, as well as the CNA population. So, Michelle, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Teresa, for having me on. I am so excited about this.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm excited too. Now, Michelle, I know some people in our audience may not know you yet. And
hmm
so most of the time they're interested in learning, kind of who are you as a nurse? How did you get started in nursing? And what kind of work have you done? Can you tell us a little about that?
Yes, of course. So I'm Michelle Carter. I have been in long-term care for 31 years. I started off 31 years ago as a CNA, went
Wow.
back, got my LPN, eventually got my RN, and moved into the role as a supervisor, a slash unit manager, ADON, and director of nursing. So I have been working for director of nursing off and on probably for the last 17 years, more on than off.
Wow.
Yes, yes. So I have a passion for long-term care. I've been in long-term care my whole nursing career. I think I've done every job in long-term care except for maybe being an RNAC in leadership roles. And I absolutely just love our geriatric population and just trying to help our nurses grow and help our geriatric population to get the quality care that they deserve.
I love that. And so a couple of things just really strike me, Michelle, just from your
Mhm.
bio. And first of all, it is, that you began in long-term care 31 years ago
Mhm.
as a CNA, as a certified nursing assistant. So you speak that language. You know what it's like for the CNAs in your building and in
Yeah.
long-term care all over the country to carry the weight of the care, right? I mean, there's so much
Yeah.
that our CNA staff do. So I love that, you started there, as did I, and so many of us, right? But
Yeah.
in various roles, but then you kind of stair-stepped your way,
Mhm.
LPN to RN, and now here you are, master's prepared nurse, DON in long-term care for 17 years.
Yes.
Congratulations, lady.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I think that's something that's so significant about you and very different in the long-term care field today, because there's a statistic out there that the average experience of a long-term care DON is about 2 years these days.
Yeah.
So,
And some of them don't even last that long. I think some of them about 9 months. So two
right,
years is good.
right. So clearly, you've developed some methods and best practices and strategies to you know, provide the excellence in care that needs to happen because I think everybody in nursing knows how challenging the survey process can be for
Yes.
long-term care facilities. So you've developed some strategies for that, but also to just keep yourself able to keep going in that role for 17 years.
I think you have to have boundaries as a director of nursing because it is an extremely stressful job, but you have to have boundaries.
Hmm.
In the first, I say within the first year, you are going to put a little bit more in, but it's going to help build your team and build your facility. I
Love
learned
it.
a long time ago. It takes about 9 months to a year to build your team up and build a facility. A facility can fall apart in 3 months and 1 quarter if you don't have the right leadership. And
Wow.
as far as survey prep, you live survey every day. You always think 5 steps ahead. And if you live survey every day, then you'll be ready. Now, things are going to happen, but you
Yeah.
can't let that deter you. Things are going to happen, you learn from them, and you move forward.
Hmm. I love that. And so tell me, I'm going to go a little bit off of the list of
Okay.
questions that I shared with you because I want to know what are some of the ways, Michelle, that you take care of yourself as a director of nursing so that you can stay in the game?
I take vacations. That's one way I disconnect is I do take vacations. And at the facility I'm at now, I've been there for 7 years, so I have plenty of vacation time, and I utilize it. because I
Mhm.
need that time to recharge for myself and regroup and be able to spend some quality time with my family without having to deal with the pressures of the facility. And I'm able to do that because I've been consistent in my role and I was able to
Mhm.
build a team up.
I love that. I love that. So what I'm hearing is it's both sides of the equation. So take care of the facility, and when you take care of the facility, you're taking care of yourself as
Yourself.
well. But because the facility is well taken care of, they're okay with you taking off and not being
Exactly.
available and doing what you need to do to nurture yourself.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
I've learned to utilize so many of my team members, my strong CNAs, my strong LPNs, my strong RNs.
Mhm.
So your team is not just your administrative team, your team is your whole entire nursing department because
Yeah.
everybody brings something to the table.
Wow. I love hearing that. And I think it's very inspiring. I'm going to
Mhm.
share this funny story. I think it's a funny story. I think it's a wonderful story that you shared with me one day that this was more than a year ago. And I think you said, surveyors are coming into my building tomorrow. I'm leaving on vacation.
Yeah.
You said, I'm leaving. They're going to be
Well,
here while I'm gone. And I just remember thinking, wow, that is so out of the norm. Because number
yeah,
one, a lot of facilities do say, whatever's going on in your life, stop everything. We've got a survey in the building. You've got to be here.
exactly. But
Right?
that you have to plan your life, and I've really learned that after what we've been through in COVID. Things are so unpredictable. We know we're going to always have survey, but there are
Yeah.
some things that come up that you might not want to miss. You want to enjoy your life also while being a leader. And that particular,
Exactly.
me and my husband were invited to a wedding from a very, very dear friend of his.
Hmm.
And I talked to my administrator. And so this was in March. I talked to my
Yeah.
administrator the July before. Like, is it okay if I put this in? And she said, well, it's the survey window. And she's like, but after everything we've been through, we'll figure it out.
I love it.
I was there for the first couple of days, and I think
Mhm.
the last 2 days I missed. But
Yeah.
because I had a strong team
Hmm.
and I was able to utilize the team I have, they were able to exit without me.
Mhm. I love that. And the other side of the coin is as a director of nursing, like you said, when you're living survey ready every day and teaching people to do the right things every day, then it doesn't matter so much that you're in the building following behind everybody because they know best practice.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly.
you. Yeah,
Thank you.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's being a proactive leader and I think, some of the struggle in long-term care right now with directors of nursing is that it is so stressful when they first come in that they aren't able to even start to get those systems in place right before they're just feeling like I got to get out. I can't
They
do it.
can't exactly. And I think strong facilities are with strong leadership and the
Mm,
consistency. Now, I may
fantastic.
be a little bit over the top when I say this, but I truly believe a director of nursing should be required to stay in a job for at least a year because you're not
Hmm.
going to see outcome. You're not going to see any outcomes within the first
Yeah,
year without putting systems because you got to remember you're fixing whatever was broken prior, and sometimes you don't
hmm.
even know what's broken until you start digging.
Exactly. Exactly. And I've always said, whenever a director of nursing role opens up, it's typically not because there's a well-oiled machine there.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking to bring
Exactly.
someone in to take that place. So typically it's unfortunate, but usually there's a lot of things that need to be corrected, need to be
Exactly.
fixed. And then there's even just the process of putting those systems and things in place in a way that makes sense for you as a leader.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. Yeah, kind of personalizing it. Wow. So, Michelle, I want to hear now, you have a goal serving as one of our Nurses Feed Their Young experts, and I'm super excited to have you because I think your story is inspiring for directors of nursing who may be feeling so challenged out there, to
Yeah.
succeed in their roles. How do you envision, supporting them? And I know this is part of your personal business, MCB
Yes.
Nurse Consulting. Tell us a little bit about that and what you're doing there.
So at MCB Nurse Consultant, I help coach and correct directors and nurses of getting over the frustration and exhaustion of having to do it all, because literally we do have to do it all.
Yeah.
I help them to be able to have clinical, professional, and personal outcomes. I do that with personality leadership, personality driven leadership development,
Love that.
and giving them that moral support. There were so many times when I was a director of nursing, even when I was new or seasoned, that I had internal consultants, but they weren't really there for me. They were there for the company. And
Yeah.
sometimes you don't feel comfortable talking to them. Sometimes, you're going to have bad days, and it's okay, but you don't want to be scrutinized or penalized because you're having a bad day. And
Yeah.
that's not going to encourage you to want to stay in the facility. And you
Mhm.
may have a bad survey, and that's okay. I believe every director of nursing should have a bad survey, because then you'll understand how to work harder to have a better one.
Yes.
Truly,
Oh,
truly, truly do. And just being able to help them to grow with leadership development, using emotional intelligence, and engaging with their team. I don't
mhm.
think we utilize our team as much as we really should. A director of nurses is as strong as her team.
Yeah. Oh man. Wow, there's so much wisdom in all of that. And so I see you kind of you're emerging in your consulting program, MCB Nurse
Mhm.
Consulting, and serving as a preceptor of
Yeah,
sorts for directors of nursing. And I love that. One of the things I love about it too is that it's not connected to an employer per se,
exactly.
right? Which
I'm
which
here.
gives that freedom to talk and share.
Exactly. I'm
Wow.
here for the best interest of the director of nursing and and their team, not necessarily for the organization.
Wow. Which what you're doing is going to impact in a positive way all of the organizations that are involved, but it's just, yeah, giving that personal support to
Giving
the
that personal
director
support.
of nurse.
Exactly.
Wow. Incredible, incredible. So, Michelle, you're a director of nursing.
Yes.
We know that you are busy. We know that you're busy. So what drew you to the Nurses Feed Their Young movement and then, compelled you to step up and serve as one of our nifty experts, which is just, while it's a labor of love for sure, it is a time commitment. It is a willingness to give of yourself to support, the entire nursing community, that kind of thing. So what compelled you to step forward and what drew you to it?
Well, as I'm going closer to being a nurse for 25 years, next year, realizing how much we have to pour back into our nurses. The nurses have been through so much turmoil after COVID, not being appreciated, being in toxic environments, dealing with post-traumatic stress syndrome after dealing with COVID, that it's time we have to pour back into them. And I think us that have had the experience and have had the experience in leadership and clinically, to pour back into our newer nurses and some of our seasoned nurses who just need that uplifting, because we all need to be uplifting. We all hit a wall sometimes, that we need
Hmm.
that support, because the nursing field is so, so important, and it touches every aspect in every individual's lives.
Hmm.
And we don't get the recognition that we deserve. And it's time that we change the narrative. And by doing that, we have to start pouring into our nurses, and not just
Hmm.
clinically. We got to pour into them emotionally, self care, being able to feel comfortable talking to a mentor, talking to a preceptor, and standing up for themselves.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I just love that. And I so agree because, we have nurses who have been in the game a while, like you and me,
Yeah,
and, who have 10, 15, 20, 30 years of experience, and they're getting ready to retire and or they're tired and frustrated and thinking of, maybe retiring early or exiting early, those kinds of things. And now is the time for us to package up those best practices
yes,
and hand them down, right? Hand them down to the next generation so that they can have it better than we did.
exactly. And in
Yeah.
order to do that, we have to change ourselves, because if they see seasoned nurses who
Mhm.
are burnt out, they're overworked, they're not happy,
Yeah.
would you want to come into this field? Would you want to step into these roles? So we have to start doing self-awareness and change ourselves. And then it'll trickle down to our newer nurses and our people who are aspiring to be nurses.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And you hit on such a key point there about the people who aspire to be nurses. And
Mhm.
that's something that is very unique and different about the Nurses Feed Their Young online peer support community is that we embrace that entire continuum. We
Yes,
want
yes,
our certified nursing assistants and home health aides in the room with us because many aspire to step up to the next level, just like you did, just like I did, and become
exactly.
a nurse. So what better place for them to learn, more about what it's all about and how they might get started and all
Exactly.
those
And the
things.
support that they need. And I think that's what makes Nurses Feed Their Young so different than anything else out there because we are working across the whole continuum, helping those CNAs or PCAs or any individual in healthcare that wants to be able to go into a nursing role.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh, well, I am super excited to have you in the community, and I cannot thank you enough for caring enough and stepping up to serve as one of our nifty expert leaders. You're going to impact so many lives, Michelle. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for starting Nurses Feed Their Young.
Oh,
It's
goodness.
time that we change the narrative and you've taken a first step and this is just going to be an awesome movement and community for so many nurses and touching their lives and changing things for them.
Oh, I
So
appreciate
excited to be a
you.
part of it.
Same, same. I'm excited to know that there are so many professionals like us, nursing professionals like us, who have the same passion to create a better future for nursing is
Yes,
really exciting. It's really exciting to see that coming together within the community. So, again, thank you, Michelle. Now, one thing I want to do
yes.
before we finish up today is I would love for you to share with our audience, how can they connect with you outside of the Nurses Feed Their Young member community? Where can they find you?
Oh, definitely. They can find me through my website at www.mcbnurseconsultant.com and
Okay.
also on my YouTube channel at MCB Nurse Consultant.
Love that. So YouTube and your website,
Yes,
mcbnurseconsultant.com. Love it. We'll also
yes.
put the link down below so people can grab that. Um, excellent, excellent. I know you have so many resources and so much support available for long-term care directors of nursing. Thank you, Michelle, for sharing some time with me today.
Thank you so much, Teresa, and thank you for what you do.
Oh gosh, thank you, lady. And for all of our audience, if you're watching or listening today, this concludes our episode of Dare to Do Nursing Differently, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.